This is Valley News Live at 10.
Good evening, everyone. We begin with weather tonight as some strong storms have been rolling through the area.
Yeah, we heard thunder over our roof not that long ago. We had some strong storms move through. We saw some hail in other parts of our viewing area. First Alert Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson joins us now with the details. Hutch.
Justin, Stacy, thank you and good evening, everyone. You can still capture the silhouette of this distant thunderstorm now as it works its way to very near you in Fergus Falls. You're likely hearing some of the thunder and lightning. But just like Fargo, the metro saw most of this energy push to the south of us. It looks like it's going to pass to the south of the Fergus area as well. Take a look at this picture shared with us from the Moorhead area of that cloud as it worked its way over them. Modest clouds, those lumpy, bumpy ones. This was visible and so picturesque from as far away as Grand Forks. Looks like we're getting another update on the crawl system there, the warning. Here's the very latest. We do have the strongest storm here approaching Ellendale and Oaks. There's a couple of them, one passing north of Lisbon. Here's the Fergus Falls storm. Let's get you caught up with the Warren storm here. There's a hail core here and another one here. So both Oaks and near Ellendale are going to be under the threat of seeing sizable hail. The Oaks cell will be in the Oaks area by 10:22. It's moving to the southeast at a clip of 50 miles per hour, 1-inch diameter hail possible there. The Ellendale storm, it's over Ellendale here in mere minutes, then on to Hecla by the end of the broadcast at about 10:25. An update on the Fergus Falls area. Here's the storm. It's over Foxholm right now. This one has been decreasing in intensity and will be near Elbow Lake by around 10:30 and Dalton by 10:23, missing most of Fergus Falls just to the south. We'll keep our eyes on the skies. There is the time lapse we captured of that passing storm as it exited off to the east. A few thunderstorms remnant tonight. Have your forecast and we'll look ahead toward the weekend here in just a moment.
Sounds good. Thanks, Hutch.
New information now surrounding the deletion of former Attorney General Wayne Stenjum's emails.
We now know his assistant, Liz Brocker, has deleted more than 2 decades worth of legal and historical documents, but doesn't appear to be in any real legal trouble.
Valley News Team's Alex Larson joins us live in studio to break down why. Alex?
Justin, Stacy, last week Brocker resigned after it was discovered she had Stenjum's email account deleted the day after he died back in January. Saying in an email request to the then Deputy AG, quote, "We want to make sure no one has an opportunity to make an open record request for his emails, especially as he kept everything." The North Dakota IT Department requires a second-level approval before acting on requests to delete things like an entire email account. But Brocker had received the go-ahead from Deputy AG Troy Siebel. So NDIT says they were simply acting at the request of the AG's office.
When we get a request then from an agency, we know that there's been that second level approval. It would take an infinite amount of time if we circled back on every request to verify with somebody within that agency, hey, is this really okay to do what such and such has asked us to do?
Going forward, lawmakers from around the state are already considering an overhaul of the state's open record retention policies. Stacy, Justin?
All right, thanks, Alex. And today, despite leaders in both parties calling for an independent investigation, Attorney General Drew Wrigley says it's not happening, saying the AG's office considers this matter closed.
Now, on the other hand, the Democrat and NBL's chair, Patrick Hart, says they're still considering taking legal action against Ms. Brocker.
Charges have now been filed against the man who police say went on a 30-minute rampage on Tuesday, leaving bullet casings, multiple hit and runs, and one man in critical condition. 28-year-old Michael Youssef faces several charges, including attempted murder, aggravated assault, and reckless endangerment. He was eventually shot and wounded by a North Dakota Highway Patrol trooper. The attempted murder charge stems from Youssef allegedly shooting at troopers, firing bullets from his balcony, and rear-ending 34-year-old Eric O'Meara, who was on a motorcycle near the West Acres Mall. Youssef took off in his pickup, leaving O'Meara seriously injured.
A son is pleading for answers tonight, hopes of finding his missing father. 56-year-old Steve Longy was last heard from fall of 2020 in Belcourt, North Dakota, the Turtle Mountain Reservation, after officials say he walked away from his home. Since then, officials and Longy's family have followed up on close to 40 tips, but his son says so far they've all led to dead ends.
In all reality, I've accepted in my mind and my heart that he's probably gone because, I don't know, it's been a long time, and why would he want to, be away from his family?
This is now a cold case with the FBI, but officials are still asking for help solving it. They have a $5,000 reward for anyone with information.
Now to a story that came in through our whistleblower hotline. A woman who lives near 13th Avenue South in Fargo wants to warn the public about what she says is a growing number of drug deals happening behind her home in the back parking lot of the Whale of a Wash car wash. Judy Meyer says she's found 5 or 6 needles in the past year. The owner of Whale of a Wash tells us while the drug activity is worrisome, he says the needle issue specifically has dropped off by about 50% recently. He adds they patrol the area, and if they notice something is wrong, they contact FPD. But Meyer is worried about if a child gets a hold of a needle.
There's 2- and 3-year-olds. I mean, they run up and down the sidewalk. Who's to say they won't pick it up? First thing they do is put it in their mouth. We all know that a small amount of fentanyl can kill you. A full-blown adult, what's it going to do to a child?
If you need help with an issue in your community, you can call our whistleblower hotline at the number on your screen, 701-369-3187. Just leave your tip and we'll do our best to get to the bottom of it.
New tonight, the Minnesota Department of Health says they've received an increase in calls since the state joined others across the country with the new 988 mental health crisis lifeline last week. It's part of a nationwide effort to transition to this new number, easier to remember and access in times of crisis. The calls on the western side of Minnesota are actually routed through a nonprofit agency in Fargo. Anyone is encouraged to call this number 988 if they're experiencing a mental health crisis. Though health officials say if you need immediate medical assistance, you should still call 911.
Minnesota lawmakers thought about 660,000 people would apply for a cut of the state's hero pay incentive. In actuality, more than 1 million people have applied, and the amount of money that eligible applicants will get depends on how many people applied. It's all for the one-time payment that comes from a pot of $500 million. These are the payments Governor Walz signed into law in April to thank certain workers who stayed on the front lines during the pandemic's peacetime emergency. 5 p.m. tomorrow is the deadline to apply. 46,000 children in North Dakota are getting a new round of food assistance this summer. The new program, called Pandemic Electronic Benefits Transfer, will benefit homes that receive supplemental nutrition assistance program funds and are eligible for free or reduced school meals. Most students will be receiving an additional $391 for school meals. Eligible students will be receiving cards for that additional funding by mid-August. The money is available from pandemic relief funding through Congress.
New tonight, the House January 6th committee just wrapped up another primetime hearing. This one focused mostly on former President Trump's actions or non-actions as rioters violently stormed the Capitol that day. Meanwhile, the committee also aired police radio traffic describing the moments the rioters entered the Capitol and how close they came to where Mike Pence was being held that day.
Remember that snowstorm North Dakota saw in late April? Ranchers who lost calves in the blizzard can now receive more money through the livestock indemnity program. It used to be $175 per calf. It's now up to $474. The North Dakota Stockmen's Association determined the previous amount didn't reflect fair market value. We have the information on how to submit your losses on valleynewslive.com. Just click on this story.
Well, check this out. Watch the right side of your screen closely. That is a bull spotted just kind of strolling along Main Street in downtown Park Rapids, Minnesota. At one point stopped, did a little window shopping, so to speak. We're told it took about 45 minutes, the bull's owner, to wrangle it back up. Police blocked off streets in the meantime, so no one was in any real danger.